Hello, classmates. My name is Sean Howard. I am a prospective 2021 graduate in the Master's in Education, the Adult Education program, and I am also endeavoring to complete the Certificate in Student Affairs. Um, I'm not what you call the traditional student. I received my first bachelor's degree in 1986 from the University of North Carolina, so I am of age, and this is my second career. I'm not actually on campus in a capacity where I work directly with students in education. However, I am working for a government entity in Lenoir County, which is about 30 miles south of Greenville, and I am an assistant county manager, and I directly train and develop all county employees on different educational issues, basically in a nutshell, staff development and training for different projects and implementations that come our way. Also safety and risk mitigation and other management duties. So in that, it's a direct link to education, having to train adults in different types of approaches to management, to job completion, and different scopes of work that they have to do. Um, I'm the youngest of five kids. All of us are over 55, so we will be considered senior citizens, I guess. Anyway, as it relates to the readings that we were assigned for this particular module, most of the chapters pretty much covered what most of us who have had previous courses in education and student affairs and counseling know. That student affairs basically entails approaching and assisting students as far as the whole student and creating a student-centered culture on the college campus. Some of the things that I noted in our readings, especially in the first chapter, how the textbook stated basically that faculty, even back then in the 1800s, had to come to terms with the fact that they could not effectively manage and teach, relying on their own personal experiences, and had to open up their minds to new ideas and innovations. So from the early periods of student affairs, we see that change had to give way to where we now see ourselves as conduits of allowing students to grow and foster and learn outside of just the classroom, which I guess that's what you could regard student affairs to be. Many of the same concerns that we find ourselves dealing with now on college campuses as far as student safety, especially when it relates to gender, women being safe in their dorms, risk mitigation, cultural change, making sure that our environment is open to different types of cultures, being aware that the landscape of the student makeup is changing. All of those types of things are inclusive in the chapters that we're reading. How we help students attend schools, how schools are looked at from a standpoint of when the textbook relates to the Carnegie listing, and how HBCUs and Hispanic schools and tribal colleges are all how they're categorized, and how some of them are not inclusive in the Carnegie listing because they were basically founded to address issues with a certain population, and how we're dealing with that same situation today as far as race relations, ethnicity relations, and how a student affairs professional will be charged with making inroads into those impasses as time moves forward. How we are financially assistant students, so that those people who are from financial financially challenged families can more easily move into the post-secondary education levels of their choice. The purpose of scholarships, making those things available through fundraising, and making student affairs a central part of the student experience as they attend the university. My biggest impression of what we read this week was the inclusivity importance that was put on student affairs professionals, and making sure that we are inclusive of all students. One particular point that was made in one of the chapters was about the Big Ten schools, and how, during that particular season, a lot of concentration is poured into football and the activities around football, and how it's important for student affairs officials and faculty and those linked to that to make the environment for the students who may not be interested in that particular type of activity, make that campus conducive to the fact that there are other students that may be interested in another way, or may have interest in other places. So we're charged with making sure that the physical and the environmental and the academic aspects of attending a college or university are more inclusive to all types of students. One particular item that was mentioned in the text also was that we, as professionals, if we are targeting a certain type of student, say a student with particular gifts or particular talents or whatever, then we have to make sure that the environment and the culture is inclusive, or have those elements that will attract the type of student that we are trying to attain as a student. And also the webcast was interesting because it also highlighted most of the chapters that we read, as far as the changing face of the student body, how the presence of different ethnicities will continue to grow on college campuses, and also how he concentrated on the fact that a lot of the universities are producing those people who may not be prepared for some of the jobs that will be out there, to help increase employment, and how that has a huge impact on the employment rate. So it's up to student affairs professionals to make sure that we take all those considerations into account when we are planning activities and other interests on campuses, so that we could attract those students to those particular disciplines. There is a plethora of information in the 5 chapters, and they're all pretty much, if you've had a course, rehashing what you should basically already know, but it's good to have that as a review. I plan to take this information in the learning that I have gained from these courses to help assist students that have challenges as far as academic challenges. I have a master's in library science, and with the master's in education, my goal is to someday soon start an adult learning project of some kind within the confines of Lenoir County that promotes adult literacy and learning. So those are my goals right now, and I look forward to working with each of you this year, and I hope you all the best.